I'm not sure how I would view Golovkin against the top guys at 160 and definitely 168 pounds. For example, David Benavidez, I don't think he wants to see him. I would pick him to beat Caleb Plant. Looking at the guys at 160 pounds. Let's see. So he's supposed to be going back down to 160. Here are the champions at 160 while we're waiting for Canelo to come out. You got Jamal Charlo, who was going to be fighting Salusky, but then that got, postponed. No date yet. Golovkin's mandatory is Erislandy Lara for the WBA. And then you have Esquiva Falco and Michael Zarafa, who may be fighting to be the IBF mandatory. Maybe. And then you have Janjabek Ali Mahanallah, who's the only champion for the WBO. Demetrius Andrade has officially vacated and moved up to 168 pounds, where he was ordered to fight Zach Parker, and that's going to go on to be a purse bid to be the mandatory at 168 via WBO for Canelo. But right now, that was a piss poor performance by Golovkin. Let's go look at these scorecards. Here's the scorecards here. Can you see it? Let's go full screen. I gave Golovkin's round 1 generously, and round 9 is the only round I can say he clearly won. Now, let's look at these scorecards. Let's look at the first one, the white, Dave Moretti. He gave Golovkin round 6, 8. Didn't give Golovkin round 9. He gave him round 6, 8, 10, and 12 for a 116-112 scorecard. Now, according to Steve Weisfeld, the blue, and David Sutherland, the pink, Golovkin needed to win one more round for the fight to be a draw. So both of them agreed with me and gave round 1 to Golovkin. A round where basically Canelo was, throwing some wild shots, and Golovkin won the round, in my opinion, off the jab. By the way, we're waiting for Canelo to come out for his post-fight media Q&A. He's going to be coming out soon. Steve Weisfeld, who scored it 115-113, gave Golovkin round 1, 8, 10, 11, and 12. Gave him a sweep of the last 3 rounds. David Sutherland gave Golovkin the pink round 1, as I did, round 8 and 9. I think 9 was Golovkin's best round. Then gave him rounds 11 and 12. 115-113 is way too close for my liking. Way too close for my liking. My bad, we're waiting for Canelo to come out. Let's go listen, since we have some time, we're waiting for Canelo, to the post-fight interviews. Let's go listen. Let's see where we at.
Right after the fight.
After the scores were read.
Right after the fight, what did you say to him?
Le dije que gracias porque le dimos a la gente 3 grandes peleas. Estas 3 peleas van a quedar para la historia del boxeo. Thank you so much, my friend. Thank you, Golovkin. Thank you. Thank you for everything. We give the fans 3 good fights. And thank you for everything, okay? Y gracias a todos por apoyarme. Solamente quiero decirles que he pasado momentos muy difíciles de mi vida. Pero lo único que quiero que sepan que hay que seguir adelante. Todo en esta vida se puede. Hay que seguir adelante. Las derrotas son buenas. Nos enseñan para aprender muchas cosas, desechar muchas cosas y tener más humildad. Muchas gracias a todos y hay que seguir adelante. ¡Que viva México!
So,
All I want to say is thank you so much for your support. You know, I've gone through some very difficult things in my life, and the only thing you can do is try and continue and to move forward. You know, and I've gone through difficult times recently with my defeats, and I've actually shown that defeats are great because it enables you to come back and show humility.
Canelo, you fought 24 memorable rounds against Gennady a few years ago. Did this feel like round 25, or did it feel like a different fight?
No, he's a really good fighter. I know, he's strong. He's a great fighter, and that's why we are here, right? And I'm glad to share the ring with him. And I'm gonna keep forward to keep my legacy going strong.
You said you wanted to go for the knockout early on in this fight. How quickly did you realize it was going to be tough to knock this man out?
This is the first round. I know, he's tough. He's a tough fighter. But I'm glad. I learned from everything. I need a surgery in my hand after this because I'm not good from my left hand, so I need surgery, but I'm good. I'm a warrior. That's why I'm here, right?
How much did that left hand injury bother you during this fight?
No, a lot. I can hold a glass of a glass. It's really bad, but look, I'm a warrior.
You seem to be in the control of the early rounds. Gennady summoned some energy in the second half of that fight. Did that surprise you?
No, not surprise me. I know him. He had a good kinetic. He's a strong fighter, and I'm not surprised.
There's been some great fights, some bad words between you two. Is this beef squash? Is it settled between you and Gennady Golovkin?
For me, I'm just glad to share the ring with him. And like I say, we give the fans 3 really good fights. And I'm glad to be involved in that kind of fight.
Well, stand by for one moment, Canelo. We're going to bring in Gennady. Gennady, you have fought tremendously against him in previous fights, as the crowd recognized. Looked like you had some trouble getting it going early on tonight.
You know, for this level, you know, like everybody knows this is high level class, you know, like the best fight for boxing, you know, everybody knows who is Canelo, you know, like everybody knows, like every bad step, it's finish fight. You know, if you lost one punch, you finish fight. You know, look his face, look my face, you know, we're so clean because, you know, like this high level, high rapport. Лучшая подготовка, лучшее показание боя.
Because we trained well, and this is shows that we did a very good fight as a result of it.
Yeah, very good quality, guys.
What made this fight different from the first 2 fights?
You know, this fight's so smart, like a more tactic, you know, like a chess. You know, today Canelo is better.
You did seem to gain some energy in the second half of that fight. Started to let your hands go a little bit more. What changed for you?
You know, like, again, strategy. We need to start like a second half. You know, I try, probably, I feel not bad, you know, like it's good fight, again, come on.
There's been, as said to Canelo, some bad blood between you two over the years. In your mind, is this rivalry settled? Is the beef over with?
You know, yeah, 100%. You know, like because you know, like all top fighter, all top player, like you know, like a basketball, LeBron and Kobe. You know, like a Michael Jordan and Kobe. You know, like guys, come on, like only one sun stained sky. You know.
Come on, guys.
You've given boxing some great fights over the years. Are you prepared to give them more? Will your career continue after this?
Absolutely, I have a great plan. You know, just I have a lot of appointments. I have congrats today, Canelo. Congrats all fans, you know, boxing fans. Remember, guys, I have 3 belts in 160. I come back, guys. You know, I still champion, guys.
Congratulations, Gennady, on a great rivalry completed.
Yes, I want to say, like, I want to shake hands to Canelo. You know, congrats, all team. You know, guys, it's a real warrior. If you not understand, you not understand nothing.
Canelo, let me turn back to you briefly. You have a hand injury. You said you need to take care of that. You have 4 belts at 168, but you made it clear you have a target at 175. If Dimitri Bivol beats Zurdo Ramirez in November, is that the fight you want next?
Of course, everybody knows. We'll see. We'll see what happens in that fight. But I need rest. Wait a second. I need rest. I need keep my body. So I need to. Necesito recuperarme de mi mano, estar bien de mi cuerpo para regresar fuerte todavía más.
So I need to come back and get strength back in my hand, recover my hand and my body, so I can come back stronger than ever.
How important is it to you, though, to avenge that loss?
No, it's very important for my legacy, for me, for my proud, for my country, for my family, for everything. It's very important, and I will beat him.
Congratulations, Canelo. Tremendous rivalry, tremendous.
We're waiting for the Canelo to come out for his post-fight press conference. Golovkin just ended his, so you would have to rewind back the video or watch it later on. So let me say it like this. I did pick Golovkin to win. I wasn't trolling. I really thought that Golovkin was going to win. You know, we're not joking around anymore. But, you know, he was gun shy. And he looked like shit. And he said it was a strategy for him to come on late. But even when he did come on, he really didn't do anything. He really did not do anything. Like, and for the rounds that he did win, I only gave him 2 rounds. You know, 3 possibly. His best round was number 9. But it really looked like, for example, I was talking about in my original post-fight interview, not interview, video, is that Canelo didn't do anything different. He just was being Canelo. You know, Canelo didn't look like he didn't do anything different. He just was being Canelo. It's just that Golovkin just looked so bad, just jabbing and not letting that right hand go. You know? But I don't want to see a 4 fight. That shit's over. There was a little over 19,000 there in the arena for the fight. Let me get the follow me on Twitter, by the way, at T Street Controversy. I'm gonna leave the scorecards up there, but I want to pull up the what was the actual attendance. I think it was like let me pull it up to make sure. But yeah, we're waiting for Canelo to come out soon. Look at this hating ass shit Oscar De La Hoya posted. I was falling asleep until his chick grabbed his ass. Look at this. Degenerate Oscar. Degenerate Oscar. Yeah, we're waiting for this post-fight press conference to start with Canelo. But let me pull up. Come on, Oscar. You're better than this, man. You're better than this. But there's definitely no argument you can make that Golovkin was even in the fight. You know, that shit looked like it was going to be over. Like, you know, I was getting concerned that maybe Canelo probably was going to stop him. It was getting ugly in there for a little while. So let's see. By the way, follow me on Twitter. Here, I'll put the link in the chat. So once again, we're waiting for Canelo to come out to do his post-fight press conference. Golovkin just ended his about 10 minutes ago or so, give or take. It was 19,519. I said this. Think about it like this. Golovkin has not looked good with Jonathan Banks. He hasn't. In fact, he looked better with my man Abel Sanchez. I think that, you know, he should mend, you know, whatever their relationship is, and he should go back to Abel. Because one thing about Abel is, like, he had Canelo's number. But Jonathan Banks, I just feel, no disrespect to him, I just feel that he's just the trainer just to be a trainer, you know, but he's not actually teaching Golovkin nothing or helping him improve on anything. You know? That's not Saddam Hussein. That's Abel Sanchez. Stop fucking around. So let me refresh though and make sure Canelo didn't come out, because sometimes they'll like sneak out and shit, and then I'll be like late to the stream. It says 8 minutes. They'll be bringing Canelo out. So no, nothing started yet. But I guess we could talk about the undercard a little bit. The undercard was whack. I didn't like the undercard. I didn't like it coming into fight night, and even more now, I don't like it. Oh, did I put my Twitter in the chat? Let me put my Twitter page in the chat. That is not Saddam. That is fucking Abel Sanchez. What are y'all talking about? Y'all need to grow up. That's fucking Abel Sanchez. What are y'all talking about? But basically, Abel Sanchez and Golovkin had a falling out over money. That tends to happen when boxers get a new deal. You know, they don't like giving trainers their percentage. So what's the trainer percentage again? What is it, about 12% or so? Between 10 and 12%, something like that, 10 and 15%. But then if you fire a guy like Abel Sanchez and hire a guy like Jonathan Banks, you're going to be like, all right, I'll give you this flat fee. Something similar happened with Danny Jacobs and Andre Rozier. You know? But yeah, I really didn't feel the undercard. The Bam Rodriguez fight, I guess, you know, some people are going to say he's burnt out. But in this day and age, fighters should be fighting 4 times a year. You know, so I don't want to say that Bam Rodriguez was burnt out in his fight against Israel Gonzalez. By the way, he tried to castrate him. He kept hitting him in the nuts. Gabriel Rosado versus Ali Akhmedov. That was, ill. Gabriel Rosado, he's not done, but he's now got 16 defeats. You know, I never liked Gabe Rosado at 168 pounds. Who else? What was the other fight? Ammo Williams versus Kieran Conway. Ammo Williams made some big promises about how he was going to show us something we never seen before. Overall, if I was to rate the undercard on an A, let's do on a scale of 1 to 10. Let's do, that is not Saddam Hussein, that is Abel Sanchez. And don't tell me what to do with my pictures. This is my channel. But if I was to rate the undercard on a scale of 1 to 10, I'm going to give it a 4. The undercard just wasn't enjoyable. However, with the fact that Canelo made a guaranteed $45 million and Golovkin $20 million, that's $65 million right there. You know, you can expect for the undercard not to be too good. You know? I just don't know. But one theory I have is Golovkin is now a broadcaster free agent. He's no longer with the Zone. Well, he's not. He no longer has a contract with the Zone. This was his last fight. So think about it like this. He's saying he's going back down to 160. What about, how do you feel about this? Does Golovkin versus Erislandy Lara tickle your fancy? How do you feel about Golovkin versus Erislandy Lara? That's kind of seductive to me. Lara is Golovkin's mandatory. Golovkin is the WBA and IBF champion and IBO. Zanjabek Alim Hanallah is the WBO champion. He was the interim, ordered to fight Andre, but Andre vacated and now is fighting at 168, likely against Zach Parker. That purse bid, I believe, is on September the 24th, maybe. Jamal Charlo was supposed to fight Soluski, but that got postponed for a mysterious injury. But rumors were that the fight wasn't really doing too well. But what about a 2-fight deal with PBC? You know, because knowing PBC, they'll put him on pay-per-view again. 2-fight deal, Golovkin versus Lara on pay-per-view for the WBA mandatory. What's expect for the WBA to order that fight sometime in the next couple of weeks or so? And then if he beats Erislandy Lara, go on to fight Jamal Charlo. Or would you rather see him go over to Top Rank and fight Alim Hanallah? And who else can Top Rank offer him? Top Rank can't really do nothing for him. PBC is going to be where it's at. Especially since he's going to stay at 160. Or maybe he re-ups with his own and he fights Jaime Munguia. And they try to use Golovkin to boost up Jaime Munguia. How's that sound? But I don't want to see him at 168 no more. I don't know. I don't want to see him against David Benavidez. I think David Benavidez will hurt him. And what's the point of competing at 168 if you're not going to fight Canelo again? Which nobody wants to see because Canelo has all the belts. And Canelo has said multiple times that 168 is going to be his division. 175, he's just chasing greatness. He's still open to, he thinks that Zurdo is going to beat Bivol. But if Zurdo doesn't beat Bivol, then Canelo wants to fight Bivol again. But he's dealing with a hand injury on his left hand, saying he can't even lift the glass, and he has to have surgery, and he wants some time off. Golovkin looked like shit tonight. Like, he looked really bad to the point where it makes you wonder how would he, now I don't think, I'm looking and I'm not confident that he can beat Jamal Charlo now. Now, I'm going to say him versus Lara is a 50-50 fight. Him versus Charlo is a 50-50 fight. Him versus Alim Hanallah is a 50-50 fight. I've lost faith in Golovkin, and I think Jaime Munguia might beat him. That's how fucked up he looked tonight. He was gun shy. And as I said earlier, Canelo didn't do anything special. Canelo just was being Canelo. Canelo looked better, in my opinion, in the second fight than he did in his third fight. Canelo just was going through the motions. And he had one goddamn hand. So, did you guys see the scorecards? I'll tell you some details again. Canelo made $45 million guaranteed. We don't know what the pay-per-view buys are going to be and if he's going to get any pay-per-view points. Golovkin, $20 million. 19,500 in the arena. The undercard was really disappointing to me. I rate the undercard on a scale of 1 to 10 about a 4. And this is no disrespect to the fighters. It's just that nothing really, stuck out to me. Golovkin looked like shit. Canelo didn't look any better than he did the second fight. Canelo just was being Canelo. It wasn't nothing special. And Canelo said he had an injury to his left hand, and he's having surgery. Canelo believes that Zurdo Ramirez is going to beat Dimitri Bivol. When is that again? Is that November the 12th? But if Zurdo doesn't beat Bivol, then Canelo wants to fight him again, likely in May 2023. He says he also needs a break. But looking at these scorecards here, and once again, we're still waiting for Canelo, but as soon as he comes out, we're going to head on over. But looking at the scorecards here, check these joints out. 116, 112 by Dave Moretti, and 2 115, 113s. And if Golovkin would have won just one more round, we would have had another draw. I don't think it was this close. I really gave him 2 rounds, meaning Golovkin. but you can make an argument for 3. But it is no way, for example, on let's look at the blue and the pink card, Steve Weisfeld and Dave Sutherland. Sutherland gave Golovkin round 1, 8, 10, 11, and 12, have him sweeping the last 3 rounds. Dave Sutherland also gave him rounds 1, 8, 9, 11, and 12. I think that round number 9 was the best round Golovkin had, and that he clearly won. That there was no debate. On the white card, 116, 112, Dave Moretti, he gave Golovkin rounds 6, 8, 10, and 12. Very, very wacky cards from 3 judges who have a good reputation for, like not giving the wrong decisions. But, I mean, at the end of the day, the right man still won. Golovkin says that his game plan, he started too late on some Teofimo Lopez Lomachenko shit, but no, it's not even really the same as that, because Loma really stepped on the gas. It's just that he did it too late. Golovkin didn't do nothing. He was just jabbing and not going to the body. And I really do believe, like, I'm not even joking, like, I really do believe that he should go back to Abel Sanchez. Because since he's been with Jonathan Banks, he has not looked good. The second Canelo fight, no, he wasn't with Abel for the second Canelo fight. He didn't look good for the Derevianchenko fight. He had some issues in the Murata fight, and now tonight, he needs to go back to Big Bear. So I don't know what's going on, but we're still waiting for Canelo. Also, we haven't seen Eddie Hearn. What's going on with him? But it wasn't, and Canelo wasn't particularly impressive. Canelo was doing regular Canelo shit. Like, Canelo didn't look, like, I've seen Canelo look so much better. That's all I'm saying. Golovkin has to decide if he's going to fight Erislandy Lara. Golovkin can fight nobody else except Erislandy Lara. So it's either he vacates his belt to fight Lara. And right now, that was Canelo Golovkin 3 was Golovkin's last fight on the zone contract. So he's now a broadcast free agent. So why not go over to PBC and maybe fight Erislandy Lara on Fox or on Showtime? They're going to likely put it on pay-per-view. And then after that, fight Charlo for that third belt, the WBC. I also think the length in between the rematch, the third fight, the second and third fight, did take a toll on Golovkin. But let's just be honest, Golovkin looked cooked. He looked cooked. He looked cooked. And I don't know if it's the 8 pounds of weight that his power didn't carry up, but he was not like his punches. He wasn't sitting on them like he would normally do. By the way, the media in the MGM Grand, not the MGM Grand, in the T-Mobile Arena, they're pissed because they've been waiting for Canelo for so long. I wonder what's up, though. This is really, like, concerning. Canelo's never this late to a post-fight media event. Bam Rodriguez got a win over Israel Gonzalez. Did y'all think Bam Rodriguez lost that fight? Some people think that Bam lost against Israel Gonzalez. And just overall, I just didn't like the card. I wasn't a fan of the card. By the way, I am exhausted. Let me tell you, I'm fucking exhausted, man. I am exhausted. Like, for real. Been up since 4:30 this morning, and look, it's fucking 3 o'clock in the morning. I've been up there in 24 hours. Jeez. And it's not like it was a super exciting card, because the main event, you know, like, after a while, it just started getting pitiful. Like we were looking at an old ass dog getting put down. You know, I didn't expect for Golovkin, you know, like, to look that bad. Like, damn. You know, and it was like he did not want to engage. Like, he was afraid, you know, Canelo can counter his ass off. It was like he was afraid of what might come back on him. And even when he did have his spurts of, you know, actually throwing punches, meaning Golovkin, Canelo would always respond. And then Canelo started beating up his arms too. I just lost a lot of faith in Golovkin, man, and I get it. You know, he's fucking 40. You know, but me, I don't consider 40 to be old. Like, I consider 40 to be like it's the twilight, but I'm not ready to call you like old, like a fucking old ass man at 40. I'm not ready to fucking throw you in the. Oh wait, is he coming? I'm checking now to see if Canelo's coming. I think something's going on. As soon as he comes out, we're going to head on over. But options for Canelo? Well, Bivol, David Benavidez, even for him, Jamal Charlo. But remember, he's got 4 belts. So, you know, mandatories are going to be, you know, on the way. For example, the winner of Demetrius Andrade and Zach Parker are going to be the WBO mandatory. There's currently no IBF mandatory as of yet. David Morrell, and I don't know how to pronounce his name, are supposed to be fighting to be Canelo's mandatory. You got John Ryder too. And then you have David Benavidez, who's the interim champion, who's also supposed to be Canelo's mandatory.
I'm not bothered who they fight. You know, they can do whatever they want.
I don't fucking care.
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, Canelo Alvarez,
Gracias.
undisputed champion.
Thank you so much, guys. Thank you. Thank you. Sí, le dije, estaban diciendo que quería comprar las Chivas, imagínate, y apenas te conocí hoy.
I never was a fan of that when I would go to boxing events and they'd be like, last question, and you still got motherfuckers raising their hand and shit. Like, it's fucking disrespectful. But there was nothing wrong with Sean's question. Sean was the guy who asked about Benavidez. He's from Fight Hype. But there's nothing wrong with the question, you know? But it's clear that, and Canelo's been saying this for a while, that those guys got to fight each other. You know, like, it's like, you know, it's like PBC can be so fucking frustrating because they will wait around and won't fight each other. You know, like guys like Benavidez, David Morrell, Jamal Charlo, Caleb Plant had the belt. You know, and Caleb Plant was babysitting that belt. He did get his payday though. You know, and I can understand what he's saying about David Benavidez. David Benavidez, you know, wants to fight guys in his stable, in the PBC stable. They don't want to fight him. Canelo doesn't seem like he wants to fight him. And David Benavidez don't have no belt. He lost his belt twice, once on the scale and one to the sweet nose clams, cocaine. You know, so he had his shot. Like, you know, he would have probably got Canelo if he would have held on to his WBC title. But those guys got to fight each other. You know, even Caleb Plant fighting Anthony Dirrell, yes, a good grudge match. But like Caleb Plant, you know, and all them guys got to fight each other, bro. You know, and as far as, you know, Canelo calls the shots. And like I said, he's been saying it for like 2 years now. You know, like those guys got to fight each other. Why won't they fight each other? But yes, he is, you know, he has mentioned Bivol multiple times. He doesn't feel that Bivol is going to beat Zurdo. But if Bivol beats Zurdo, then he plans on fighting Bivol when he comes back. But he says he wants to rest and get surgery on his hand. There's a torn ligament. And there's a possibility we may not see Canelo until next September. He may take the year off because he's saying he's tired, which is understandable. But as far as tonight's fight, one final time, it'd be great if you can like the video, but one final time. And I want to see, like, how did you rate the main event from a scale to 1 to 10? I'm giving it like a 5. Like, it wasn't an exciting main event. Canelo didn't show us anything new. Canelo actually didn't look really good. And Golovkin even looked worse. You know, like, Canelo did Canelo things, but it wasn't like he didn't seem like dynamic. You know, it wasn't an exciting fight. You know, no replay value. And Canelo, I'm more disappointed in Golovkin. You know, because he just didn't show up. And this is a guy who made $45 million in Canelo, and Golovkin made $20 million. And it was on pay-per-view if you don't have the zone for $85. $85, bros. You know? Yeah, see, and that's what I've been getting. A lot of people have been saying 4s and 5s. A lot of people have been saying 4s and 5s on a scale of 1 to 10. You know, so I'm going to be interested to see what the pay-per-view buys are going to be for this pay-per-view. How much you think this is going to do? Maybe about 600,000 pay-per-view buys, maybe 500. You know, there's going to be people saying it's going to be flop. It's going to be people going to say it did more than what it did. It's always how it is with these pay-per-view numbers. By the way, my podcast, the Fight View 360 Boxing Podcast, is available on all of your listening platforms. Also, you can catch my videos on the WBC channel, powered by the Vive Network. I am exhausted. It is 3:30 in the morning. I've been up for 23 hours straight. Canelo was late to the post-fight press conference because he was getting stitches and drug testing and all that stuff. So it's been a very, very long night. So we will be here this week because we got a big heavyweight fight coming up between Joe Joyce and Joseph Parker, which is likely, it hasn't been announced yet, but I'm pretty sure it's probably going to be on ESPN Plus here in the States. We're going to be streaming during that main event. Amanda Serrano's also on the undercard. And on Friday night, you have Shakur Stevenson. Shakur Stevenson taking on Robson Conceicao. So I'm going to be covering both of those cards. So that's Friday for Stevenson Conceicao and Saturday for Joe Joyce and Joseph Parker. But I'm motherfucking exhausted. So I'm painting my kitchen and shit. So you guys are not going to see me. I'm going to edit this video up, you know, the individual post fight press conferences. But you guys not going to see me until motherfucking Tuesday probably. You know, so I'm getting the fuck up out of here. It was nice hanging out with you guys. It'd be great if you could drop a like before you go. Follow me on Twitter. Here, I put the link to my Twitter. In the chat. It's my Twitter page right here. He really should go back to Abel Sanchez. Like, for real. Abel Sanchez would really help him out. Here's my Twitter page, T Street Controversy. As I am on Instagram as well. Here you go. Give me a follow. And it was nice hanging out with you guys, man. But I got to get away from this computer. I've been sitting here since 6 o'clock, bros. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe on T Street Controversy with Fight View 360.